Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something that I think genuinely affects everyone. It's that initial hurdle, but also the eventual joy of starting conversations, especially when you're doing it in English.
Mm.
Think of this as your sort of practical guide to turning that awkward feeling we all know into, well, real connection.
It is such a universal feeling, isn't it? That
Yeah.
little bit of fear, maybe sounding foolish or just not being understood, particularly if English isn't your first language.
Yeah.
So our mission for this deep dive is really to pull out the truly useful bits from a really great guide on this, moving the focus away from like this impossible idea of perfection
Right.
and more towards just the courage to give it a shot. It's amazing how often just a simple hi,
Yeah.
and a real smile can be the start of something good.
And the source we're looking at today, Starting English Conversations, your fearless guide, it really gets into the why behind that hesitation.
Mm.
I mean, let's be honest, even in your own language, sometimes starting a chat can feel a bit dicey, like stepping onto thin ice. You're not totally sure what's going to happen.
That's a great analogy, the thin ice.
Yeah.
And what's key is how much bigger those feelings get when you add a new language into the mix.
Right.
The guide, it really pinpoints those common worries people have inside their heads. Oh no, what if I forget the words? Will they even get what I'm saying? It might going to sound silly. But it also offers this really important reassurance.
Hmm.
Look, everyone's been there. The main thing, the core idea is that being able to communicate well in English isn't really about perfect grammar.
Yeah.
It's genuinely about being willing to engage, just willing to try, maybe stumble a bit, find some humor in it. That first simple gesture, that hi and a smile, it often just clears the air.
Okay, but how do we actually do it? How do we start? And this is where the guide gives us its kind of golden rule for starting a conversation, and it sounds almost too simple.
Yeah, what is it?
Start simple. Stay curious. Sound friendly. That's it. You don't need some huge opening statement.
No grand monologue needed.
Exactly. Often just a relaxed, hey, how's it going is perfectly fine. The guide's got some great natural examples too, like, hi, I'm your name, what's your name? Or even, excuse me, I don't think we've met. Are you new here?
Simple stuff.
Totally. Or even just noticing something. Lovely weather today, isn't it? Or maybe that looks like an interesting book. Is it any good? Those can open doors you wouldn't expect.
And, if we link this to just how people work, how human interaction works, the guide points out a brilliant little psychological, hack, really.
Okay.
People generally like talking about themselves. It's just how we're wired. So if you're feeling those nerves kick in, just shift the focus. Ask them a question.
Ah, right.
It immediately takes the pressure off you see. Takes that cognitive load off your shoulders and invites the other person to share something. It helps us reframe that anxiety we feel about speaking into just being curious about someone else.
That is a powerful way to think about it. And the source has this fantastic, really relatable little dialogue snippet. Imagine you're somewhere, maybe a class or an event. You manage a slightly hesitant, hi. The other person just says hi back. And then thinking fast, you just go with, so, do you like pizza?
Uh-huh. Okay. Random, but okay.
Right. They laugh, haha, yeah, who doesn't? And then you seal the deal with, good, I don't trust people who don't like pizza, and boom!
Connection made.
Exactly. Connection made, not through, amazing sentence structure, but just shared humanity.
Yeah.
And pizza.
Pizza's universal. But what's really great about that example is how it just completely sidesteps any idea that you need complex language.
Yeah.
It really highlights that the goal isn't to show off your grammar skills. It's just to make a human connection.
Right.
Using humor, finding common ground, even over something simple like food,
Yeah.
it works. It shows that real fluency is often just about being willing to be, authentic.
And the guide also gives this list, 10 phrases you can adapt. What I like about them is how real they sound. Things like, hey, what brings you here today? Or, this place has a really cool vibe, don't you think? I especially like the honesty of one. I'm not always great at small talk, but I'm making an effort. How's your day going?
That's brilliant.
Or even, this might sound a bit awkward, but I just wanted to introduce myself.
And see, none of those are stiff or formal, are they? They're not trying to be perfect.
Not at all.
They're just real, human, approachable. Just like this says, it backs up that main idea. Being genuine beats trying to be perfect every time. Even admitting you're a bit nervous, like saying, I always find it a little tricky to start conversations, but here I am. That can actually make the other person warm up to you more. It's disarming.
Yeah, it really can be. And speaking of awkward, the source actually mentions some common mistakes, some pitfalls, and they're kind of funny.
Whoa.
Like what? Like trying way too hard to sound smart, you know? Pray tell, esteemed fellow, might I impose upon thy precious moments?
Haha. Right, you're not auditioning for Shakespeare.
Exactly. Or forgetting to smile. The guide jokes, that's like 50% of the nonverbal part of the chat.
It's huge, yeah.
And then there's talking too fast because you're nervous. Slow down. It's not a race.
This really touches on something important, though. How what's going on inside our heads directly impacts how we come across.
True.
And beyond those sort of lighter mistakes, the guide offers a really good, more advanced tip for when you genuinely don't understand something someone said.
Okay, what's the tip?
Just confidently and clearly say something like, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you possibly repeat it, please?" See, that's not failing at conversation. That is good communication. It shows you're actually engaged, you care about understanding. That's a sign of real confidence and respect in a dialogue.
That makes sense. The source even has this neat little interactive exercise bit. It gets you to picture different situations and think about how you might start talking.
Oh, like what kind of situations?
Okay, so, like, you're at a bus stop, someone else is waiting. What's a natural thing to say? The guide suggests something simple like, "Excuse me, do you happen to know how long this bus usually takes?"
Makes sense. Practical.
Or you're at a party, someone's got a cool-looking drink. "Oh, that looks delicious. What is it?" Even just in an elevator with a colleague. "Morning. Long day ahead."
Right. Little openings.
The main point isn't finding the one perfect line. It's just finding a natural line that fits the moment.
And what's really fundamental there is the attitude behind it all.
Yeah.
Just be natural, relaxed, friendly. These scenarios show how the context gives you clues for what to say.
Yeah.
But that core attitude, being approachable, that works everywhere. It's about being present, noticing things, and just being willing to interact with the world and people around you, realizing every situation has a potential opening.
So after all this, what does it really boil down to for you listening right now? This deep dive gives us, I think, 3 really actionable things to take away. First, find maybe 3 new opening lines today, maybe from the examples we talked about. Memorize them. Think how you could tweak them for different situations.
Good one.
Second, challenge yourself. Just start one conversation with one person this week. In English, online, face-to-face, doesn't matter. Just one.
Small step, big impact.
And finally, use your smile. And try to be genuinely curious about the other person. Those are like your secret weapons in conversation.
And what's really profound here, I think, is the overall message. That feeling confident in English, making those meaningful connections, it doesn't come from staying silent or endlessly overthinking things.
No.
It comes from courage, just being willing to engage. It's about shifting from that internal question, should I talk, to just asking yourself, well, why not?
I like that. Why not?
And the source sums it up so well. A conversation is just a smile with sound. Think about that. If you really take on board how simple that idea is, that every time you interact, it starts with just a friendly signal, a shared thing, how might that change how you approach speaking? Maybe free you up from that pressure to be perfect. So here's something to mull over. What other little human things, subtle gestures, maybe nonverbal cues, could be your sound in a conversation, even before you find the perfect words? What else signals friendly and open?